Hello, I'm Mal, and welcome back to Stellaris. Now, this is a Galactic update video. I do these periodically, so Sabouts won't be joining me for this one, but I am going to talk about Sabouts and I's strategy a little bit and what you can expect in the coming episodes. So, let's see. A couple things I want to talk about. One, a little bit more about version 1.5, which at this point sounds like it's going to come out sometime, if I had to guess, either in late January or February of 2017. So if you're from the future and you're watching this, 1.5 might have already come out, maybe not, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit because there's a couple things in 1.5 which sound pretty cool to me. One is they're adding traditions, and it's going to be this whole new system that's going to allow you to make some really interesting choices for your empires. And I think it's cool because it's going to allow you to have, say, two empires that might start off the same way, ultimately won't end up looking or functioning the same way because of the way the traditions will work. So, as an example, you'll have, say, something that influences your ability to politically affect other empires, and you could focus on that, or you could focus on something that enhances your exploration ability and might open up unique missions and tech and things that you would never have access to if you didn't focus in that particular area. So I think that that's really cool, and I just wanted to mention it because here and there, Sabouts and I will be bringing that up as we learn more. And if you're interested in the things that are going to be coming in version 1.5, you can check the official Paradox forums, or you can check out the Twitter feeds of the primary members of the dev team, which is where I get a lot of my information from there, actually. So you can check that out. And I'll try to remember to put some links in the description of this video to make it easier for you. Now, in terms of where we're at with the current state of things, I think we talked a little bit about this in the last episode. If memory serves, we're something like 95 of roughly 141, habitable planets for a Federation victory. So the plan, at least short term, is to continue to take systems from the Tail Compact down here in the Galactic South. Now, I haven't looked too closely into how many systems total that is, but let's take a look here. So if we look at the Serene Foxtail commonality, we've got 15 planets there. And if we look at the thing I can't ever pronounce, Serene Foundation, we've got another 14 there. There's one left in the Confederation of Holocron Blue. Yep, they've got one. That gives us 30. Now, is that everybody that's in? I think that's everybody that's in the Tail Compact. Yeah, it is. So that gets us pretty close. So if we can take everything from them, which will be a little bit of a process, then it's a question of who else could we get it from to kind of push ourselves over the 141 that we need for victory. Now, obviously, this is the largest target, the Phineas Redactus Confederacy, but Sabouts and I have talked about it. One of the biggest issues here is that they really outgun us right now. Like, even head-to-head, if we can get all of our allies to come to bear, which is a challenge, we just sort of meet parity with them in terms of the size of our fleets. So I would prefer not to have to go head-to-head with them if we can keep from it. I don't know if that's going to be viable or not. We'll just have to see. Now, there were some other targets, like I even thought the Praetor Republican colonies, but we seemingly can't get the people in our Federation to agree to get rid of them, to kick them out of the association, which, if we haven't been clear in the past, essentially what Federation Association status is in a lot of other games, and I wish it was named this way in this one as well, would simply be a non-aggression pact. So we agree that we can pass through each other's territories and we won't attack each other, is essentially what the agreement is, but there is no agreement to, defend them. Like, as you can see here, they have separate defensive packs with United Human Nuvis Suns and with the Numerian United Systems. But these guys right here, the reason this is a little bit frustrating for myself and Sabouts is that if we could go to war with the horse guys, right? If we could go to war with them, if we could find some way to make this happen, maybe via it rivaling them or insulting them or something, if we could force this to happen, then their 14 planets would actually put us over the mark. If we could take all of the Praetorian Republican colonies, I was looking at this very closely, and we take everything from the Tail Compact, then the Phileas Redaxus Confederacy becomes somewhat of a moot point. We wouldn't have to go head to head with them. But if we do have to fight them, then that means we're going to need significantly more firepower. And at this point, I don't know really where it's all going to come from. Because even though both myself and Sabouts have more firepower, let's take a look here. So I'm already over naval capacity, so my efficiency will improve, but the amount of ships I can bring to bear is not going to go up much more. So we're looking at, what, maybe another 20k, which would put me at 130, and I think Sabouts is roughly at the same level. So he and I can go and do strikes against the Phineas Redexes if we have to, together. But again, since we can never be guaranteed that our allies are actually going to go with us, since we still can't set war targets or anything like that in this version of Stellaris, it's going to make things challenging. So I'm going to talk to him about it some more, but I think, you know, the obvious thing is we continue to go after the Tail Compact, build our fleets up as much as possible. If we can get the Praetorian Republican colonies, if we can somehow get to a status where we can go to war with them, then great. And if not, then we're going to have to just start taking bites out of, you know, the cat guys over here, as much as I don't want to. Let's take a look here. Also, we've got, I think I showed this in the last episode, but let's take a look at the ship designer and take a look at what I've done in a little bit more detail. I'll just kind of click through these here so you can look at it. So we've got the corvettes, which I'm running with phase disruptors and neutron torpedoes. The destroyers are all running with phase disruptors, again, because they do extra damage to shields and they come in contact with the enemy fleet first. And I just want to make sure, do I have all my high-end point defense and everything? I do, okay. And then for the cruiser, yeah, I've been sticking with these Marauder missiles, which I think overall are the best deal for damage, but I may change up the cruiser design a little bit. And if anybody's got some ideas about that, let me know. And then we've got our battleship design, which right now, let's see, filter by large slot. Do I have the tier 2? I don't have the tier 2 kinetic batteries yet. Okay. Let me take a look here. Am I researching that? I am. Okay, so kinetic artillery, 67 months, which someone had mentioned in the comments that the rate of research is slowed based on the size of the empire. Yeah, I was aware of that, but thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. But the other big thing that affects rate of research is obviously not only the amount of research that you are generating, which obviously has an effect on it, and the leaders, but also how many techs you have completed. So the more tech that you have completed, the longer future projects take. So like, for instance, right here, we're on applied supergun connectivity 13. So obviously that's going to take a lot longer than, you know, an energy increase at level 5 or 6 and so forth. What is cool though is that I don't think I've ever been this far into the game where I was still seeing new techs, which is pretty neat. You know, even if they are sort of rehashes of other tech that maybe we've seen before, like hostile climate adaptation +5 habitability, I still think it's cool that we are actually still discovering quote unquote new stuff. So I like that. Anyway, going back to the ships though, let's see. We've got the battleship design, which I'm pretty comfortable with. I think I'll leave it the way it is. Large Marauder missiles, I mean, in terms of their range, I mean, I like the fact that if you put, let me put this a different way. If I put medium or close range weapons in these slots, it feels like a little bit of a waste on the battleship because they take so long to bring those weapons to bear. So my whole thought process has been, let's keep mostly long range weapons on the capital ships because Otherwise, you never really get to utilize them. And I've also been trying to change the mix of the fleet too. So, you know, at times I've had all small ships, and then at other times it seems like I've only had like capital ships, and now I'm trying to strike a greater balance with the fleet itself. I still have the carrier build out as well. I changed this up a little bit too, and I think even from the last episode I changed it some more. So we've got a mix of point defense as well as fighter craft. And I might change this. I might change this even again, like giving up. So I've got carrier core here. I was thinking about even changing it to hangar core, getting rid of one of the hangar slots, but then I pick up additional medium slots so I could carry some regular firepower. I don't know, just something I'm thinking about. Now, as far as my newer planets, let's check in on them real quick. Got a few upgrades to do, it looks like. We need to change anything here? No, it looks like we're okay. District looks good. Are you okay on food? Yeah, you're over on food. So I can build something here. Let's go with let's go with mining network. Already building something here, an art monument. Okay. Paradise Dome. Okay, so I guess we'll just leave that be then. All of these are building spaceports, so I've got those queued up on every single one. So we're going for level 6 spaceports and all these, which will help out immensely with naval capacity, and therefore my penalties won't be as bad since I'm running over on that. And let's take a look, while we're at it, let's take a look at the fleet. So 110,000. And we've got a pretty good mix here, I think. We've got 80 vets. Yeah, I think this is good. Do we really have 271 destroyers? That seems... No. Do we really? Holy moly. Okay, well, apparently we've got plenty of destroyers. Let's take a look at those again. Well, I mean, they have some good close-in damage, and we're certainly not gonna... We're certainly fine against any kind of missile tech with all these guys in the fleet. I don't know, I might need to change that out. That might be a little too much. But we'll see. And what else do we need to look at? Let's look at contacts. We haven't done that in a while. Let's look at everyone and what our current statuses are. Let's sort it the other way. Yeah, I'd like to get rid of these guys. I've wanted to get rid of them for a while, but we can't because who they have agreements with. These guys hate us. Border friction. Why do we have border friction? We have like next to no territory next to them. We don't have any real territory next to them. This little edge here? That seemed a little excessive, but alright. So not much we can change about our current disposition with people. But I'll just go ahead and slide through this so you guys can see it. Okay, so we've covered a little bit about what I think our plan is going to be for Sabouts and I. One last thing is that people keep talking about the middle of the galaxy, whatever. I think that there is like a something there, but it's not really game-changing or anything. It's just like a rocket or some nonsense. I've read different things in different places about what can be in the center of the galaxy. But in this case, since we don't have warp drives, we have no way to get there. We can only jump as far as we can jump. So, like, as an example, here we are. If we select the fleet, we can't jump there. There's no destination for us to go to. So, hopefully that answers that for you, because that's come up a couple times, and even if I could go to the middle, I don't know that I would, but we can't. So that kind of ends that. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this quick Galactic update video. Sabouts and I should be back to our quote-unquote normal videos in the next day or two. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider hitting that thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, I'm Mal, and I'll see you later.